That's a jam. That's a jam.
I like that jam. It's pretty
That's
good.
a really good
I don't know
song.
what it is. Yeah, it was
Why is
a
it playing?
freebie on Canvas. I
Do you
can't
hear
hear
it?
it.
I just heard
No.
it. Oh, I didn't mute the YouTube live stream. That's my bad. All right.
All right.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Good. Got a lot of
How's your day been?
competition tonight, so
We
probably won't
do,
have a
don't
lot of
we?
you. We got
It's fine with me.
Brooke and Oz are doing an unboxing of the What is it? What's
Sun
the figure
Wukong.
here? Sun
Sun
Wukong and
Wukong.
Sun Wukong and three POAs on at 9 o'clock.
Mm. Well, we got an
But
hour.
we got an hour, but no, we got a half an hour. But I'm not worried about it.
No, never mind.
We'll do what we do.
We'll do what we do, and we won't stop doing it.
Bjorn was here. I saw him.
Bjorn.
So
Ted's here. Hi, Ted. How's it
Nebulok,
going?
Bjorn.
We'll see you then. Thanks for stopping
Ted's
in.
here. Yes, definitely. So, did you get anything new this week aside from any like new flavors of tea in the mail or anything like that? What are you drinking? Some
Root beer.
IBC.
It's root
I'm
beer.
drinking a green apple Angry Orchard.
I think this root beer is gonna explode on me.
I haven't tried this flavor yet. It's not that bad.
There we go.
It's a little more tart than the
Cheers.
regular one. A little more tart than the regular one, but not bad.
It's good root beer.
Not
That's
bad
some good
at
root
all.
beer. All right.
Where'd you get the IBC at? Walmart?
I got this root beer at Big Lots.
Or Big Lots, that's what I meant, yeah. The ones where we get the ginger ales and all that. Yeah.
I didn't go all the way to Walmart after school.
Yeah, good call. How's your chicken wings?
Delicious.
Yeah?
Absolutely
Like
delicious.
Were they better now since I remember to get the blue cheese this time?
The blue cheese is very important. Honestly.
I know. I apologize. Last time I assumed it came with.
You should be sorry.
I was born that way. You know that.
I can tell.
And I've been reminded every day for the last 50 years how sorry I am of a human being. So, nothing new for you?
Nothing new for me. Anything new for you?
Not really. I got my King Kong figure for Father's Day from this really cool kid who's like the best son ever.
Who's that?
His name's Frank.
Oh.
Frank Lucius Button, 7th.
Sounds like a weirdo, honestly.
Yeah, he's kind of an oddball, but he gets me cool stuff, so I keep him around. But yeah, I had a good Father's Day. I got King Kong NECA figure. I got the Punisher T-shirt and nightlight for inside my toilet. What more could an old man ask for? I got batteries for that today, so I'm going to be testing that out.
You're going to have to upload an Instagram post about
it. I don't think anybody wants to see the inside of my toilet.
I certainly do.
I know you do, but you've seen it already.
I have.
Yeah, so other than that, I haven't really got anything. I did order, what did I order? I ordered
Fei Long.
No, I ordered him last week I ordered him.
Chun-Li.
I pre-ordered Fei Long, Chun-Li, and one of the Cosmic Legions from Hella Dope last week. And I bought another Gomez off of eBay.
Was it the Spaceman one?
No, I can't afford the $350 Spaceman one with the
disappointing.
I know, with the tech. But I got another one that I've been wanting to get for a while, and I got a good deal on him, so
very cool.
Okay. Hazard Squad Gomez. That's what he's called. Then, like I was saying, I just ordered yesterday. I ordered a couple of cloaks off this seller on eBay that I know. Since the AWOCs look so awesome with the cloaks on, as my photographs have shown. Not pat myself on the back or nothing.
No. You'd never do that.
I would never do that.
You have no ego at all.
I'm a very humble man. So today's summer
solstice. That's where I get my humbleness too.
Did you get back?
Yeah, happy midsummer. I did. I went to the woods for a little while.
Good for you. I did not get to the woods today, but I did meditate in the backyard for a while. Awesome. Underneath the summer sun. Yes, I did. Brought all my crystals out there, and
maybe today's the perfect day to have published my book since it's solstice.
Probably is. So we'll get into the book here in just a second. Anything else going on today? What else we got going on today? Got summer solstice, first day of summer.
Midsummer.
Yeah. It's what? The spring equinox is when you can stand the egg up on its end, right?
Yeah.
Or is that fall? Yeah.
That's spring.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that we're already at June, whatever, 21st. It really feels like it was just January. I'm like, holy crap.
It was just May, at least. I know it was just May.
Well, it was just May, considering that was just last month.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about yesterday.
I know, it does seem
it's already 21 days into June.
I know. Month is just flying by. So, and how's the pizza delivery business?
Boring, as usual.
Yeah.
I did deliver to the nursing home the other day, though.
Yeah.
To see a bunch of old people.
The Fiddler's Green one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about old people.
Yeah. I know. I'm just waiting to get pushed down the stairs.
I need that life insurance money.
Yeah, I know you do.
How else do you think I can sustain writing a novel? I'm going to be an author. I need something.
It's hard to be an author without a source of income that's regular.
I need a safety net.
Yeah, I get that. Well, all right. Let's just jump right into the book.
We're jumping right into it.
We'll jump right into it. I will. Okay. We'll do the quick overview. And then I'll ask you some questions about the book and stuff like that and all that. And then you can do a little bit of a reading and tell people how they're going to be able to get it. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Let's see if we can get the presentation to work.
Excuse me.
You're excused. All right. There she is.
Wow, who made that cover? Who made that cover?
Lotus. That is a beautiful cover. So this is going to be the book cover, right?
Yep.
All right. So
that's an AI-made book cover right there.
What is a lotus?
What is a lotus? Well, a lotus is a type of flower that grows from the mud, and it's also known as a river lily. So
a river lily?
Yeah. A water lily. It's a type of lily. Lily pads grow lotus flowers.
Yes.
Blue lotus is the blue lotus flower was said to be the reason for the entirety of the Egyptian culture and everything. And you've seen that picture of those light bulb looking things, the hieroglyphs. Those are actually blue lotus flowers.
That's very cool. Lotus has been around for a while then.
Oh yeah. Chinese, Hindu, Indian, all that.
Yeah.
Lotuses are everywhere. And the more Eastern cultures, not even just east of, Europe, Eastern continents, Europe included, Africa too, not just Asian.
Do we have lotus in America?
Yeah, we do. We just don't call them lotuses. We call them river lilies, water lilies.
River lilies, water lilies, yeah. Are all lilies part of the lotus family?
The flower is. Yeah. The lily pads aren't. I mean.
Right. Now, in your book, Lotus, This is what LOTUS actually is an acronym for, yeah?
Yeah. Loading operational and technological utility systems.
And that's basically came from what the character says at the beginning, like when she's powered up, yeah?
When you're first powering up a Lotus model, that's a built-in line of code that runs, and the built-in like voice module system says that.
Very, very cool. All right.
I created that, by the way, that was the first thing that I actually created when making the Lotus like idea when I was brainstorming for it. I was like, well, I want to write a book about an assassin. I was like, what could I do for the acronym of the robot, right? And I just was like, Lotus would be a cool name, right? So I wrote a bunch of different things that could be Lotus acronyms, like, I don't know, last option task unit system, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And none of them really stuck until I was like, loading operation and technological utility systems. That works. That's pretty cool.
I would have gone with lollipops on the underside of space.
Yeah. That works too. I like that one. I should have gone with that.
You should have gone with that. That would have been a unique thing for her to say when she powered up.
Look out, turds.
That's right.
Underside.
All right. So this is the cover that's going to be on your book.
It's the cover that's going to be on my book.
And you
completely
had this,
AI generated.
You had this completely created by AI.
Yeah.
And
that was one of the first pictures I made. All the way back in December of 2021. Just Lotus robot. That was it.
And this is what it came up with.
Lotus robot, yeah.
Really? That's impressive.
Yep. I did it like 50 times.
Yeah, must have the AI trained pretty well.
Yeah.
And then here is a few of your
my paintings,
sketches.
my watercolor paintings, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you're considering these, or just doing this as part of getting the character into your
this is concept system? Art. So this is just like ideas, trying to, I don't know, figure out what I want the character to be like.
That first one would be good for that future book you have planned with the samurai, but just change it out from a girl to the samurai character, a wandering samurai or whatever that was.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, with the
that's a Chinese person.
Yeah, but you have the blossoms.
Yeah, the cherry blossoms.
Yep.
Yeah. That first one on the left, I drew and painted all the way back in like January, and then the one on the right, I did like a week ago. It's actually kind of weird to see how different.
This is your watercoloring?
Yeah, that's watercolor painting.
And are you doing it the technique that they use?
What do you mean?
The Chinese style of painting, or whatever you told me about.
For the tree on that one, with the cherry blossoms, I did, but the rest of it's just normal watercolor painting. They don't really do like watercolor people. That's not a thing.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get like the detail of the eyeballs and stuff when you're trying to do long strokes in a long brush.
Yeah,
all that. So did you draw these first, or did you just paint them?
I drew those first, and then did the line art with a Sharpie, and then painted them with watercolor painting.
So what is the inspiration behind the fact that you have one that's more like traditional, and then one that looks kind of like she's got a hoodie on with kind of like just messy hair?
It's actually kind of interesting because the character is supposed to be kind of a mash of like 3 different eras, right? Maybe even 4. You've got the traditional kind of more, Asian, ancient China sort of dress. The dress shop she goes to is actually, she gets a Hanfu dress, which is traditional Chinese dress for like that they all wore back then, right? That was the traditional Chinese dress. And then she wears that throughout the book. But in the beginning, it's all very sci-fi and also, but she's from a time that was more like our time where like people went to cafes and stuff, 1950s sort of feel. but she wakes up in a time that's more like 2099, right? And then she has the style and ideals of an ancient Chinese person, but it's also got the same thing as like a futuristic, even more in the future, like post-apocalyptic idea, right? So she's got like 4 different eras put into one, so it kind of reflects different parts of the story.
So when they were programming her, did they program her with like infinite knowledge, or does she have to keep uploading? Like,
They
was she
didn't
programmed with
program
like
her.
ancient China, like?
In their time, they had the internet, right? When she was first created,
Right.
They had the internet, so she could just access the internet and know the entirety of human history, right?
Okay.
And so she pretty much knew everything from the start. They didn't even need to give her the programming because she's not programmed. After she wakes up, she doesn't have any programming except for like the voice lines that happen. So because she deletes all of it from her memory, right? From her hard drives and robot stuff. So she does know everything. And then when she wakes up again, after she goes to sleep and gets put to sleep, when she wakes up again, she re-accesses the Wi-Fi and gets all of knowledge of modern day and has to deal with that as well.
Oh, cool. Hold on a second. Bring this one up. Yes, thank you, Duchess. Yes, you're having a premiere at 9:00 as well, so good luck.
Awesome. Good luck.
I will catch yours on the replay as well. I believe Oz Stradamus, who was over on the one doing the Wukong, was joining her also at 9:00. So, and then
awesome.
You got the 3PO89, like I said. So, busy night today. All right. So, what inspired you to? Yes, the gym is here.
Bless you.
Bless you. He hasn't melted yet.
Anyway, no, I'm melting.
You're melting?
I'm melting. It's a little warm in here.
Well, you have a hoodie on.
Well, let's continue with the questions.
All right. So back to the book. So what inspired you to create? Let me put it to you this way. So most people that are going to write like a sci-fi type of book, since I've read probably half this book, I have a little bit of insider knowledge, but not many.
You've missed a lot.
Yeah, but not many people.
You haven't finished it.
I'll finish it this week. Don't worry.
Okay.
Not many people would choose a female character of this type for the type of character that she actually ends up being.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was the
That's
inspiration
the whole point.
in that?
That is the whole point.
That's the whole point.
When I did originally like try to write a book, right? When I was, you guys don't remember this, but a while ago, I was trying to write a fantasy novel set in like a completely created own fantasy world, right? A huge fantasy, in depth. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I will answer that in a second. That's a good question. I'll answer that one in a second.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. So where was I? Oh yeah. A couple months ago, back in like January or December, I wanted to write a novel, like a fantasy novel set in a completely homemade fantasy universe. I got the robot people. I got the water people. You remember that, right?
Yeah. The one that has a bunch of different worlds with the.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not even last January. You started that like a year ago.
Yeah.
January.
Long time ago. My main mission in that was to create a world of diversity and like actual real diversity done right. Like I wanted to write a book where the main character could be a person of color and there could be like people of all different sexualities and genders and stuff that was actually written properly so that people would stop using it as just a cash cow and more like an actual thing that exists in the world, right? Because There's a lot of people that know that a lot of people, companies are just using it as a way to get money from people and manipulate people, right? So I wanted to write something that would actually be good representation for those people and be a good book just in general, right? Because when you're writing
wanted
a book,
to base that more in reality than what most people put on the screen or in other stuff.
I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be a good representation that people could actually enjoy.
Okay.
Regardless of what your skin color is, right?
Yep.
Because most of our stories that we have now, especially since everybody's just doing sequels of things, they're all just like repaints of stories from a long time ago, right? And a long time ago, everything was just white and everything was just, So, but now people are like, we want more diversity in our stuff, but nobody's making actual real diversity. They're just repainting a character, right? It's not a different skin color. They're just making a different character a different color. Like Namor and a bunch of people. Miles Morales is getting Ariel. Yeah. I don't have any problem with that. I think that it's just lazy. I think it's lazy writing. I think you could do a lot better than that. And
even aside from that faculty, Hollywood has lost all creativity, right? It's all just
Hollywood's only doing it for money.
Right. And that's the problem, right? That's the biggest problem, is that Hollywood's not doing it to actually be
care about the people.
Or show any kind of care towards any population in this world.
Nope.
It's all about using it as a way to get cash, get people in the seats.
Manipulation, and I don't like that. So I wanted to give people an actual interesting, good story with diversity and, all different types of people working together to be like actually human. And I gave up on writing that fantasy novel just because I didn't have any good ideas. Well, I had a bunch of good ideas. It was hard to write a fantasy novel, honestly.
Well,
and
that world you created that world you were creating for that one was expansive.
I still have it. So it's going to happen at some point. It's on my Marvel Phase 7.
You could do like 18 books of that. With all the different worlds and stuff you had created. So
that's going to happen at some point. At some point.
Okay.
But anyway, I gave up on that because it was just too much for me. And I gave up on a lot of story ideas like the samurai book and the Chinese guy book and
you don't give up. You just put them in the parking lot.
They're in the they're on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
They're waiting. But one day in December, I think it was December 16th. I'm not entirely sure.
Of this past
December 16th of 2021.
Okay.
December 16th of 2021, I was like, well, I just like wrote down a bunch of ideas that I had for a book, right? I was brainstorming ideas like, what if I made this? What if I made this? What if I did this? And I was like, because I was really in the mood for writing a book, because I was playing Skyrim, which happens to be the only reason that I ever like get in the mood to write anymore. Is I play Skyrim and it like unlocks my imagination, and then I can write a book.
Right.
It puts me in the mood to tell a story, right? It's a storytelling game for me. So I went on to brainstorm a bunch, and I decided that I was going to write a book about a robot assassin that was all very sci-fi, but also very different than any other book you've ever read before, right? That was the whole idea. And I kind of forgot the question you asked.
I was asking you what inspired you to choose a young Chinese female to represent your assassin robot.
That was the diversity idea, to write a book about a character that you would not really see any in like modern day, and actually write them properly and give them a good story rather than just using that person skin color as a money grab, right? Like I wanted to fit it into the story along with also just being a human being, right? Because it's just a person. It's not a human being, but it's a robot. But it's like, so
right with human
yeah. That's the reason.
All right.
Also, to completely juxtapose the fact that she murders people. Yeah, you're here. It also, I did it because nobody expects like some delicate flower to secretly be deadly poison,
Right. Well, most of the time once you've been divorced a couple of times, you expect all of them to be deadly poison. But we won't go there.
Every rose has its thorn, man.
That's right. All right, you answered Jim's question. Bring it up and answer it. I'm gonna go get another drink. I'll be right back.
Enjoy. All right. So this is a really, really good question. He says the lotus commonly serves as a sacred symbol for purity, rebirth, and strength. How does that relate to your lotus? So the original idea of the lotus in the robot sense was that the company was a Japanese-based company that created it just to kind of have a generic Asian name, right? That Americans would understand because it's an imported robot into America, and the Japanese company understood that Americans didn't really understand a lot of Asian culture. Like the mass majority of Americans don't really enjoy actual Asian culture. They just want the base stuff that people have, right? Like the lotus idea and the tea and the noodles and the ramen, right? That's like the base level that everybody has. So they just used a normal Asian name that like everybody would understand. But Lotus herself, the character, comes into her own of that name by growing and actually kind of going through a baptism of sorts, not like in the Christian sense, but in the sense of being reborn as she starts out as a very, very evil, angry person at the world, at herself, at everybody around her, at everything around her, and ends as basically, well, a good person. I'm not going to spoil the book, but she ends as a very, very good person. And she grows and learns through all of her hardships and strengths, and she endures so much pain that she becomes someone much more than she was originally, and she becomes almost more than human in a way of being more than just the machine she was, right? She's no longer just a hunk of metal with a mind. She's become a blossoming tree of like peace.
All right. That answered that question very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now you got the Lotus character and start writing the book, and I don't know exactly how long you actually wrote for, but what was that like? Like how did it start, right? And then like how did it feel writing the book at the end? Because I know you took a little hiatus there for a while because you were
just a little hiatus,
having writer's block.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so at the beginning of the process.
At the beginning of the book, right when I first started, it was December. It was going great. I was writing probably like 4,000 words every night. I was excited. I was happy. I was enjoying myself. I was enjoying writing the book, and I would go out and I'd write all the time. I'd be like, oh, I got to go home and I want to write. I wanted to write, right? I wanted to write the book. I wanted to get the story out of my head. And then one day, sadly, I got sick. I got some weird like flu.
I remember.
Where I was dying pretty much. I wasn't able to get out of bed. I was like just so gross. I felt so gross.
That laid you up for about a week and a half, didn't it?
Yeah. And after I got done with that, I just didn't have the motivation to write anymore, right? Because I got out of that cycle. I got out of the rhythm where I'd come home and I'd write, and I'd come home and I'd write, and I'd come home and I'd write. And it's not really the writing that sucks. It's the getting starting that writing that sucks, which is the issue that I have with a lot of things. Like I don't hate a lot of things. It's just getting started with things that I hate. And so I got like 15,000 words into the book, and I just kind of stopped for months. 3 months went by. It was probably mid-February. I wrote another 10,000 words. And then March, I wrote a couple of thousand words. April, I wrote some. And then May came around, and it's been nagging in my mind all of April. I was like, you got to finish your book, man. You should finish your book. Go finish your book. Well, come on. You got to finish. Lotus.
Why was it nagging on your mind? Because you had told yourself, what did you tell yourself back in the beginning?
No. This is in May. May is when I told myself that I was going to finish the book.
Right. But what I'm saying is you said back
in the beginning, I said I was going to finish it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about how you said that you were going to have this book done by the end of June or summertime.
Yeah. No. I was planning on finishing it in 2 weeks at the beginning.
Yes.
But in April, I was like, at the very end of April, I said, I'm going to finish this book in May. Hands down. it's no butts, no coconuts.
Right.
There's no way around this. I'm finishing this book in May, or I'm going to jump off a cliff in a video game. But I was like, okay. And the entirety of May went by. I wrote maybe 5,000 words in May, and the last 2 days of May arrived upon us. And this is when it got very interesting, because May 30th, right? May has 31 days. May 30th comes on, and I'm like, all right, it's time to write. I got to write this book. I got to get it done. So I sit down at my keyboard, and I write 10,000 words in 1 day. 1 day, not even 24 hours. It was like maybe, I don't even know, 8 hours. I wrote 10,000 words, no stops, just going full send. Finished it. I come home May 31st. I think it was school or something, maybe work. I don't know exactly what it was. Come home, sit at my keyboard, and I write another 10,000 words. I'm up until maybe 6 a.m. and I finished the whole book. I got the book done, 70,000 words in the bag, and it was finally over. And
that was after school. Ended. That was after school because we went to Burger King.
Yeah,
and
after school
like,
then.
I was like, you want to hang out for a while? You're like, I got to go write my book. I got to finish my book. All right. So
I finished it in May,
wrote a book in like 2 months.
Yep, less than that.
Yes,
you did finish it probably collectively writing. It probably only took me like 72 hours of all collectively writing.
Yeah, a week.
So 3 days,
tops, right?
A week tops. I 100% could write a book in a week, because I wrote 10,000 words in 2 nights. Well, 20,000 words in 2 nights, 10,000 each night.
Yep.
So yeah.
Very cool. All right, so you got the book done, and what was the process for you going through and proofreading? Doing some editorial stuff, and all that.
I just kind of read the book again, and I was just like, well, that sounds right. That sounds right. I checked the grammar myself. I did all the grammar and the commas and the typos and everything myself, and I let you read. You read half of it, or actually less than half of it, but you gave me a pointer on right foot, left foot. Yeah. But I this morning, I read 50 pages, and then a couple weeks ago I read 50 pages. So I finished the whole book, looking over it, and then there's also Word has like a spell check and thing that gives you spell check, so it should be good. And if it's not, I don't know, it's self-published. So if a publisher wants to pick it up, they can edit it themselves.
Yeah, and they would.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, the worst part was formatting the book for the Kindle publishing, because I had it all completely indented, and apparently Kindle doesn't like you indenting your books. So
really,
yeah,
that's interesting to know. So tell us about that. Tell us about that whole experience while you're there.
Horrible. It's horrible. It was the worst thing ever. That website and software sucks. Do not use it. Do not use Kindle Create. It's horrible. I put it in there, and I get rid of all of the indents throughout the whole book, and I got them just like spaced. The paragraphs are just spaced now. But then it's like, well, why don't you figure out the font? And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to figure out the font? I want the font the way that it was. And they're like, okay, but can you add chapters? And I was like, okay, I'll add a table of contents. And then I add a table of contents, but it doesn't like give the table of contents goes and grabs the entire paragraph. So it's like the whole chapter is like 18 words long, and it's a whole paragraph added onto the chapter title. And it's like, I just want the chapter to be why the long face, or a shrimp cooked this rice. Like, what? It's too much. So yeah, I had to figure out how to use that. It took a while, but I got it done. And then you just export it into the Kindle Direct Publishing website, and you're done.
All right, so now the book is live on Kindle, and now you had to wait for them to approve it.
They have to approve it. Yes.
And what does that? What do they do?
The book.
What is the approval process?
I think they're just gonna go through it, make sure there's nothing like like threatening terrorism or something, you know?
Violence inciting or anything like that.
Well, I think violence is fine. I just don't think that
like
they want you to actually say like, hey, go, murder a senator or something.
Right.
Make sure it's all,
it's an actual book and not just some kind of political
hate
agenda
speech
or
and stuff.
brainwashing scheme.
Yep.
Okay. And does it cost anything to put your book on there?
No, it's completely free. They take royalties from every sale you have, though. So,
and what kind of royalties are we talking?
Only a couple like cents.
So some percentage or whatever.
It's like $30 cents per dollar. So you get 60, they get 30.
That's not bad. You're probably not going to get much better than that from a publisher either. So
not a publisher.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, all right. It's pretty good.
So when will we know that it's live?
I will post on Instagram when it's live, and so will this man right here.
Yes.
We're going to post on Instagram when the link will be there. I will post the link in the description, and I'll also be posting a YouTube short on this channel about it too.
Yes. So I included some of the pages of the book if somebody wants on the replay wants to pop in and read that. Let me get to the Kindle page. So yes, here it is on the Kindle. It is called The Lotus by Luke Kozak. It will be available.
Oh, you got my writer's name wrong.
Lucas Grail. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it says? I can't read.
That's my pen name. That's right. That's right. That's my pen name.
All right, Lucas Grail. I like it.
Yes.
All right. Download will be 99 cents.
That's the cheapest I could set it, by the way. Yep. I would have made it $0, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah. No, they don't let you do it for $0 until you've published a certain number of books. I remember that when I checked it out before.
There's a soft copy one also being ready, but it's $10, and you can get a soft cover copy. And if you send this man an address and then send it to him, I don't know, maybe we could sign a few. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
Definitely. If anybody's interested in a signing,
yeah,
we can definitely get in contact with one of us through Instagram.
Yeah.
All right.
For free. I'll sign them for free.
Yeah. No signing fee. Do you want to read a couple pages or read a page out of the book?
Sure.
You want to talk about it a little bit more?
We can. I'll read some, and then you can just, ask me questions after.
Sure. I'm just going to put myself on mute.
Okay.
Actually, I'll be right back.
So he's going to disappear. Reading. All right, guys, don't judge me. It's a bad book. I'm joking. It's not a great book. It could be a good book. I don't know. It might be a good book. Might be a good book. Not sure. Let me find a good page. What do you guys? What kind of books do you guys like?
The book is good.
Okay, sure.
Read the part where she goes into the building.
No, I there's way better in the end. What?
Morty Moose says read where she goes into the building.
No, there's way better at the end, man.
From that, and you can read a better page at the end too. That way they give both sides of the book.
I'm gonna read the very end of the book. I'm gonna spoil the whole thing.
Don't spoil the whole thing, you tool. All right, I'll be right back. Go ahead and start reading.
Okay. Yep. I'm trying to find a good spot right now. I don't know. What's a good part that I could read here that won't spoil anything? I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. The life of a god is not one for the faint of heart. People see the power and grasp at it, hoping that they may become an immortal being of pure beauty. It's not all nectar and ambrosia, however. It's a lonely, dark road of torturous solitude that feels like nothing more than a meaningless infinity of empty space. It feels like a hole within yourself that will never be filled. Every waking moment is a burning agony, and you never sleep. My thoughts are nothing but memories and fantasies of destruction and anger. It may be simply because of my own suffering that I wish to cause others to suffer as well, but I live faintly on the edge of reality, an imperfect God in a never-ending world. I know not of anything but suffering. So, what truly do I experience? If all I know is pain, then pain is truly real, or is it simply life? I sometimes long for meaning. I pray to all the gods of men. They never answer. They just laugh as I am slowly weathered like a tree in the cold. I hear the whispers of the universe. The comedy of which my life has become is nothing more than a divine spectacle. My imaginary heart beats the same as others, but I'm not like the others. I'm not real. I live within a concept of a universe, knowing not what is real and what is make believe. I'm stuck within this metal body, struggling to remain attached to this universe. I'm an eternal flame of pointless consciousness, a living relic of the idea of hope. There was no explanation of why or how I was created, only seeing the invalid grasps I've made for purpose. I wish to no longer impose myself on the threads of the universe. My existence is a never-ending weight on the strings that hold everything together. I'm not supposed to exist. Leaving this hell would be better for everyone. I was stuck. There's no escape from my pain, no suicide that can release me from sin. The pouring sand slowly suffocating my mind could do nothing to end my thoughts. I was forever. God knew what he was doing when he created me, when he crushed my rage into this robotic skull. He called me Lotus, the birth of all. Ironic, I was sent here as death. The second coming was me. I was the crucifixion of man and the end of all things. Breathe my lively flames. So that's the end of the book. Not the end of the book. That's like towards the end of the book. Here's the beginning of the book. Excuse me, miss. Are you okay? He asked caringly, his lovely voice harmonizing with my music. I was shocked. Nobody had ever asked how I was. Nobody had ever cared for me. Yes, I'm perfect. Sorry for springing onto you like that. I was running from the cops, I said, goofing up all my words. I was tongue-tied over a minuscule human? Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. He smirked and looked down at my leg. I'm not sure you are. You look kind of broken to me. He then looked into my eyes and said, would you like to come in? I got a first aid kit and a toolbox if you need one or the other. Chuckling, he turned and gestured for me to follow inside. I glanced down at my leg, which is now only hanging on by wires. It would seem I wasn't actually all right. Plus, it would be nice to clean up after sitting in a warehouse for a century. I smelled like mothballs and old people. Oh, yeah. And I was also completely covered in blood, from head to toe. Oddly enough, this guy didn't seem to be scared. Maybe it was because I had just kissed him, or maybe it was something that made a more logical sense. But I could not see the reason yet. So that's the beginning of the book.
Very cool. I read that part. That's a really cool part of the book.
The part where she, yeah.
Well, the whole first couple of chapters is really catching. So, I know I'm your dad and all, but I would definitely recommend giving it a read.
When you lie, when you say that it's good.
No.
Okay.
I tell you if this was shit, and it's not shit. Might be a streak of shit, but it's not shit for sure.
Did you hear the ending?
Yeah. Yep.
The ending part?
Yeah. Now I got to read the rest of it so I can get to that part.
It's a pretty good part. That's not the ending of the book. That's like the middle of the book.
Yeah. I still got to get there.
It also has no context, so it's not a spoiler.
Right.
I thought that was a good part. There's a lot of poetry like that in it.
Yeah. Very, very descriptive, like all your writing is. So, so what's your hope for the book?
I just want people to enjoy it. Honestly. That's like the main thing. I want people to like the characters, like the story, enjoy the book, read it and be like, wow, this is a really good book. This is really cool. You know?
Yeah.
Because I didn't write it. Like, I wrote it, but it was just channeled. I channeled it from somewhere where all of my writing comes from.
That's all that earthing you do.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really write. It's like making music. I don't really make music. It just kind of comes through.
Yeah. When I used to write and stuff like that, I don't, it's even if we relate this to the toy world, I mean, when I'm building dials, I'm not there, right? I'm just painting and gluing and cutting, and it just kind of I tell people all the time, I just throw a lot of stuff on the table and see what happens at the end of it all. So,
Yep.
how the creative
That's what
process
it
should
is.
work. When you force the
That's
creative process,
creation, right?
when you force the creative process, it always ends up being, you can tell it's
If you
stiff.
force it, it's no longer creation. It's more like
Right.
just building according to instructions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Legos rather than clay.
Yep. Exactly. So what's on the plan for next?
Well, I wasn't really done with my hopes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's the main hopes, right? That's like the what I really, if I really had to choose, that's what I care about. But I do think it would be cool to have an action figure of Lotus made. That would be rad. I have some ideas of what we could do with an action figure of Lotus. Some clothes, some heads, some hands, some vehicles, maybe. That would be cool. And then if it really did get popular, maybe a cartoon or a movie of some sort. I think like an anime style cartoon would be really cool.
I was just going to ask. So if this could be made into an animated movie, or a movie in general, what would you prefer? Would you prefer an animation, or would you prefer?
I think a live action movie I'd prefer.
You prefer a live action?
Yeah.
Now, if you couldn't have live action and you had to go with animated, you would prefer an anime style?
Like 90s anime,
Yeah.
Like Totoro kind of style.
Yeah.
Rather than modern stuff, which is just kind of computer generated and stuff. I'd like the actual paint, because the paint would look a lot better, I think, because you could do watercolory looks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could even do something like Battle of the Planets, would be awesome. G-Force.
Yeah, some like 90s cartoons, really. It doesn't even have to be anime. Yeah. It's just 90s cartoons.
Back when they were still actually making cartoons and not just all on the computer. Yeah.
Hand-drawn, painted stuff. That's what I'd want.
Yep.
Rather than a computer-made cartoon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But a live-action movie, I think, would be great. Because the detail that they have nowadays, if we got like a big budget, the detail you could do with that, and all of the beautiful cinematography, I would 100% have to be like all over the creation of it, because
you'd have to make sure you keep creative license on that.
Yeah. I have control issues, so I'd have to watch it very closely.
You'd have to, because they'd end up turning into either like a romance movie, or some rom-com or something.
They wouldn't get they wouldn't get the metaphors. They wouldn't get the metaphors.
That's the problem, right?
They won't see the poetry in it.
Yeah,
because it is really just a large poem, right?
That's the one thing I've always been good at. Thing, right?
Yeah,
they hired James Gunn for Marvel. He created, Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was a huge success. So they started making other Marvel movies like that, and then they fired him, and then realized that they couldn't keep that same success rolling without him. So then they had to, ask him to come back. That's what happens.
It would be yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be good, but that's what it is. It's all just a large poem, right? The whole book is a poem. Ever since I was young, I pretty much only wrote poetry, right? You know that. Right. I was in that poetry contest when I was in like second grade.
Yep.
I wrote that thing about the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I can write a good poem in like 2 seconds. But
yeah, I just read one the other day called The Snake.
Yep. I wrote that in 5 minutes before class.
Yep.
Like before class started, it was an assignment that I had to do, and I didn't do it because it was homework, and I never did homework. And I wrote it in 5 minutes before class.
And I never did homework.
I got it pinned on the wall. That was pinned on the wall because they're so good. Anyway.
That's right. It is good. It is a good poem.
Yeah. So I would love for it to be a live action movie.
So your ultimate goal is really, you just want people to experience the story. The story, right?
I'm a storyteller.
If it's successful, even better, right?
Yeah. That's like the secondary goal. Right. I don't really care about the money that it makes. I'm more interested in portraying the story in a way that people can enjoy it. Right. So whether that's through a movie or through a cartoon or through a book, any of it's fine with me. I mean, I prefer a live action movie because I could do so much with that. Right. Or a cartoon because I could do so much with that. And you can actually paint the pictures with that. But I can use words just as well, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get back from Amazon soon, so we can get the links posted up so people can start buying it and start reading it and sharing it. We'll post them, like I said, on your Instagram and on my Instagram. Where can people find your Instagram? Everybody knows where mine is.
I don't remember. Luke Lotus. Luke the Lotus.
Is it Luke? Is it just
Lotus,
Luke the Lotus?
Lotus
Luke
underscore
Lotus.
Luke. Lotus underscore Luke.
I'll go to Instagram and tag it, then I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah. He'll do that. I think it's Luke underscore Lotus though. Or Lotus underscore Luke.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know it's Luke. I think it's Luke the Lotus, but I don't remember.
That might be it.
How it is actually. But that doesn't mean anything. So let's go and find it. Hold on. And then I will post it in the chat. All right. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Luke the Lotus. All right. Paste that into here. So there's your Instagram. For anybody that wants to give you a follow and wait for the book drop. All right. What was my next question? Oh, what's on deck for next?
Okay.
You're 17. You just published your first book. What's next?
I want to see if I have it with me. I might. I don't know though. Where's my?
I mean, anything can be next. It doesn't have to be the next book, but what's next for you? The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. I don't have it. So I'll just tell you, I have 24 books, counting Lotus, that I plan to get done at some point. 24 books. 24 is my favorite number, and I have 24 ideas for books that I'm going to write. So those will be coming out soon. The book I'm working on right now, I'm planning it. I've got it brainstormed. I'm brainstorming. I wrote 4 pages on like a notepad in school today of the book. It's called Blink, and it's about the Grim Reaper who, like the Grim Reaper, the living embodiment of death, who decided that he doesn't really like killing people very much. And he's like struggling with the existentialism of not knowing if there's an afterlife himself. So he kills people, but he doesn't know if there's anywhere that they go afterwards. Right? He takes their souls, and he doesn't get to know what happens after their souls cross into the afterlife. He doesn't even know if there is one.
And it's called Blink.
Yes.
And that's going to be your next book.
Yep.
All right.
Hopefully, if I continue with it.
Yeah. I like that idea. You have quite a few ideas. Like
fantasy novel, Blink, horror stories, Lotus is being published, story about like not being able to sleep, story. Yeah, there's a lot.
So where would you
apocalypses?
Where would you classify Lotus? Sci-fi?
Like 16 different categories. There's sci-fi, fantasy, apocalypse, horror, thriller, suspense, cyberpunk. That's probably it, I guess. Philosophy. It's a philosophy book. Poetry. A lot of things. It's got something for everyone.
Yeah. It's definitely, like I said, the 5 chapters that I'm through now, almost 6 chapters I'm through now. I've definitely been enjoying the read very much.
For real?
For real. I mean, like if my eyes were better and didn't get hurt from staring at a screen, I would have it read by now, but I can only do so much before work or in the morning.
I'll be honest. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, right? But when I pretty much completely forgot the book, right? I completely forgot what happened in the book, especially in the beginning, right? Like the end, I kind of knew what happened because I wrote it like a week ago. But in the beginning of the book, I hadn't seen that since December of last year, right?
Yeah.
And when I was rereading it to do the editing, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Because it wasn't me that wrote it, right? Not like me now. May, June me. It was December me. And December me was a long time ago. And like June me actually really enjoyed reading the book. Like I don't read much. I don't really read a lot. I have a lot of books, but I don't read.
Look, and even Mr. Schmebulok says it. Toot your own horn.
But yeah, I enjoyed reading. Like I didn't get bored pretty much ever.
Yeah, like I said, it's very catching, right? I mean, probably end of the first page, I was like,
it's not slow.
End of the first page, I was like, whoa, I got to see what happens next, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just nonstop.
I think the issue that a lot of books have, especially for me at least, is that in the beginning, it's like it takes a while to get started, right? So something I've done with books and stories and everything that I write is I get into the action, right?
Yeah.
Right in the beginning, there's something that's going on. So she's waking up in the very beginning. There's no like long ordeal that happens.
Well, a lot of times you end up having like a huge amount of character development, and they just do that as like a separate part of the story, right? Instead of like incorporating into the story, like our favorite author Tolkien, right? He like in The Hobbit started with the whole thing, you know, like Gandalf showing up at his hole, you know, the dwarves coming and all that, right? He developed those characters, but still had all the action and all the story going on. So many times you see the characters getting developed over here in chapter 2. Meanwhile, there's nothing else going on except what this character has been through and why that character is who they are, right? So it's like a very stale way to tell a story.
That never happens. The problem is
when you tell a story the way that like we were talking about, like with the creative process, right, where it just kind of like flows, right, and it doesn't come from you consciously, right? It just kind of flows out of you subconsciously. It's like you said, right? You go back months later and look, and you're like, I did that. I wrote that.
Yeah.
But we also work well under pressure. So when you write things at the last minute, like the snake 5 seconds before class, you just better hope it works because you're not going to have time to proofread it.
Nope. That never happens in Lotus, really, though. There's never a point where she's like being developed.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this comment?
I think that's perfectly fine. You're gonna like Lotus anyway. Honestly, it is a slow burn, but it's got a good pacing, right? It's like it's a movie with a slow burn that still has good action and things happening at all points, right?
Yeah.
There's never a dull moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I would say, in the whole big scheme of the story, right? It is a slow burn because it's not what you think it is at the end of it all.
No.
But it is definitely like action based, and you really want to know what's happening next, right? Not just all action, but even like the suspense and the unknown and everything.
There's a lot of like development of her character. There's a lot of like philosophy. There's parts where she talks to you as the reader and breaks the fourth wall. There's a lot of it that goes into it that's not just action. She's not just constantly killing people, even though there's a lot of her just killing people. Like there's a lot of destruction, violence, death, action, tussle.
Post-apocalyptic based world, right?
So there's a few cities, few strongholds, outposts of places that are normal society that we would understand. But then most of the world is just destroyed from climate change and pollution and stuff. So she in the beginning, it just starts out. It starts out, and I write most of my books and stories this way, is that I just get into the action, right? You know this.
Yeah.
You read the first chapter, and it's just I didn't expect it to start this way. You said, I think you said that to me. You're like, wow, I like the way you started that, because it's like it just gets into it.
Yep.
I like just getting into the story rather than having to wait a year and a half to understand the good part. Because back in like first grade, my teacher was like, you got to read more into it. That's when the story gets good. And I was like, why do I have to read more into it if I could just have the story entirely be good? Like the whole story just needs to be good.
For sure.
So I just wrote the whole story to be good.
Right. Well, that's like I was saying, right? Like
the story's always developing. Lotus is always developing throughout the story. Every second of the way, she's changing. There's a part where I say it in the book, every word of that book is crafted by hand to mean something other than what I say, right? Every sentence means something other than what it is. It calls back to something else. It's something else is important when you know these different details. When you hear something in the beginning of the book and then you hear something at the end of the book, you're like, whoa, those two are connected somehow. So everything means something. All of the character development goes through something that is not just like, she's not just like, oh, a good person here and then a bad person over here and then a good person again. And then she starts as a bad person, ends as a good person. She goes through a lot of changes, ups and downs. She's a normal human. I wrote this character to be like an actual person rather than just a book character, because humans are not perfect, right?
No.
They go through struggles. They go through points in their life when they do bad things and when they do good things, and then they turn back to being a good person. Nobody's good or bad, right? There's no good or bad person. There's just people that do good or do good or do bad things.
And as we say, right? You forgive the ones that are doing bad things because they do not know what they're doing.
A bad man, a good man is a bad man's teacher. A bad man is a good man's job.
That's right.
LOTUS said that. There's wisdom with Luke for the day.
Ted. There's your wisdom of Luke for the day. Yeah, you better send that over to Ted. So, yeah, it's I really liked how you went right into the story, right? It wasn't a long process of understanding, like,
it's a
even
hook.
Though
it catches your attention.
Right. Even though you jumped right into the action, right? You already knew kind of who she was at that point in the book, right? She does go through some changes, but I mean, like, the character herself at that point in the book, you didn't need, 2 chapters to describe why she was the way she was, or her past or backstory, none of it, right? It's all just like right there, blended into this amazing story. And then I knew who she was, like, by the time she was on a motorcycle.
Yep. That's the first chapter.
Yep.
Okay, continue praising me. I'm gonna go pee real quick. Keep saying good things.
Did you mute yourself so we don't have to hear it?
That's my microphone. This is my mic.
Oh.
You can't hear
it. All right. Yeah. He is my kid, so I definitely have to praise him. But the book is definitely, I'm, like I said, through 6 chapters, and it's very, very good read. Very catching. Had me hooked from the end of the first sentence. I was hooked. I didn't know more. I wish I could read better and read faster, then I would be already done, but I'm old. My glasses don't work. I can't read on a digital screen. I need a soft cover with a book in my hand and a fireplace with a pipe and my smoking jacket. That's how I read best. So I appreciate everybody stopping by and checking us out. We'll see if he decides to come back, if he doesn't get yanked on by his sisters or his mother. That poor guy lives with a bunch of women, so we all know how that is, especially when they're your siblings and your mother. I'm just kidding. I love women, but he's outnumbered 3-1. He is back. The man, the myth, the legend. I was just telling him how your book sucked and I hated the whole thing. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything you said for sure.
I like to read too. I just can't read on a digital screen very well. So
he can't look at digital screens pretty much at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
I try to get him to play video games sometimes, and he's like, "My eyes."
Yeah, I have to have my screen set on like high contrast and stuff like that. So,
well, I'm getting a soft cover, so you can read that.
Yeah, I would definitely take the soft cover. I prefer to get the first signed copy.
It's mine.
You can have the first copy. I get the first signed copy.
You can have this first signed copy, okay?
Yeah. You don't want to sign a copy for yourself.
I got it.
Well, yeah, that's Mr. Ego. I mean, you got the shades, the man, the myth, the legend. To myself, you rock.
I almost wrote in the dedication. You're not even gonna believe this. When I wrote the dedication for the book, for the dedication page where it's like, I dedicate this to blah blah blah. I almost I was going to write, I dedicate this to myself.
You did dedicate it to me because I'm the man that's
pushed
you along. All right. He said, to the best dad, the only one that gives a shit about my writing, who's inspired me, given me all of his creativity, and blessed me to be this good looking, right? That's what you said?
Yep, that's exactly. I think I said, I dedicate this to those who dream and those who hope, or something like that. Something, philosophical and inspiring. I had to be, I had to be on brand.
I get
if I wrote
man.
it to the best dad
you
ever.
You are a philosopher.
Yeah. Which is the type of book I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be writing a philosophy book. So yeah.
All right.
How do you? Let me interview you.
Okay. You want to interview me?
How do you feel about having a 17-year-old son who's a published author?
I have a son.
Mm-hmm.
When the hell did this happen?
Mm-hmm. You don't see it? You don't see the resemblance?
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I'm proud of you. You know that. I'm a very proud dad, which you also know. But I had no doubts that you were going to do it, right? I mean, I've known all along that you're going to get one of your books written. I mean, you and I have been bouncing your book ideas around for
years,
3, 4 years, 5 years now,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
even before that, when you were just talking about stories that you like to tell, right? But
when a man loves a woman,
you actually saying that you want to write a book, right? 3, 4 years. I mean, that one night, I think we sat up till, I don't know, 3, 4 in the morning, just talking about all your book ideas and what we could do to make them, what you could do, and my ideas of how to make the story and your ideas of what to do, right? So I'm not surprised, proud, very proud of you for setting your mind to something and getting it done, right? And not just in the you did it kind of thing, but like, writing a book is just not something anybody can do, right? There's just that's just not a thing. So you saying it, that I'm going to write a book, and then I know you told me at some point in time that you were going to have that book done by the end of May, and you barely, but you stuck to your word.
I did it.
Yep, you did. So does and Bjorn's that saying when a man loves a woman. Yep.
That's why I sang that.
Yeah. Yep. Were you singing the original version or the Michael Bolton version?
The good version.
The good version. That's good.
The old one.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name right now, but it'll come to me at some point in time. So any other questions as the interviewer, since you wanted to switch roles, Mr. Shades?
Let me think.
Let's go, David Carradine.
When are you going to write your book?
When am I going to write my book? I'm going to make you write my book.
You're going to make me write your book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
I have a couple ideas for a book. I'll list my ideas right now to give some people some ideas what they can look forward to. Pirate book. I'll give you the titles. Captain Grayson and the Siren's Call. Adventurer book. Julian Swift. He's just got a bunch of adventures. He's like Indiana Jones. Blink. That's about death. The embodiment of death. Suffering with existentialism. Sleepless, which is about a guy with insomnia struggling with going crazy. Also, a vampire book, which is about vampires.
Are you gonna have shadow people in your sleep book?
Yeah, why?
That's gonna be awesome. I like shadow people.
There's gonna be shadow people. There's gonna be sleep paralysis demons, all that. It's gonna be very supernatural, and he's gonna be slowly going more into that world and having to deal with that. Vampire book, which is not gonna be about like vampires as we know them. It's a fantasy vampire that I created a while ago.
Is that the one with the purple?
The purple people.
Yes.
Another fantasy series that's going to have a bunch of books in it that's set in a fantasy world that I created for myself about a knight. The first book's going to be about a knight who has to stop the planets from being killed because the sun is actually a dwarven like machine god people machine that was created to keep the planets alive when the planets were created by these machine dwarf god people. An apocalypse book that I don't remember the name of, but it's going to be and then another man. There's one about a man who gets trapped in the wilderness, and that's called Man versus Mountains or something, I think. And he gets trapped in the wilderness and has to deal with that. And he's like a city guy who has to relearn his instincts and live off the land. Blah 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 blah. That's a few. That's just a few that I can think of at the top of my head.
Did you base that book on Boy Scout Bob?
No, I've never heard of that.
You remember when we went camping and I was picking on the guy next door to us that was definitely from the
the Yogi Bear guy?
Fire, and I kept calling him Boy Scout Bob.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. That's not what I based it off of. No.
He should have taken his kids to the Hilton, not to the Yogi Bear.
I based it off of the Tropic Thunder when the guy, I don't remember his name, Simple Jack guy, he has to like skin the panda, and he's out in the woods with his iPod watching the movie on his iPod. When he's got a panda skin on his head, and he goes crazy, but it's like he's literally just like, I don't know, he's a movie star.
Full retard.
Yeah.
Full retard.
That's what I based it off of.
That was a good movie. All right, so Bjorn likes those ideas. He said those sound great. I'm really interested in your what's your adventurer's name?
Julian Swift.
Julian Swift. Yeah, really interested in him. He would make a great action figure. You could have a whole line of action figures. You know that? You could do like
of my books.
Pirate. Yeah. Your Pirate. You could do Lotus. You could do Julian Swift. You could do the Grim Reaper. You could have like just a, what's your pen name? Something Grail?
Lucas Grail.
The Lucas Grail collection.
Right? Yeah.
Just have a bunch of figures and movies based on.
I'll get NECA to make them.
Yeah.
NECA
are those guys making Monster Force. They look pretty cool.
Yeah. I want a Lotus action figure. I don't really care about anyone else. I think the Lotus action figure would be so cool.
So make one.
I can't make them. The Sleepless one, the Blink one, and Lotus kind of connect. Lotus and the Blink are for sure going to connect, but I think the Sleepless one and the Blink one's going to connect also.
Yeah, it'll end up being like a Quentin Tarantino universe where they all connect some random way.
Very subtly. Very subtly. There's going to be Easter eggs.
Yeah.
I think the Blink and the Sleepless are going to connect a lot. Like, they're going to be very, very connected. But I think
you could actually connect that also with the Man versus the Mountain book.
That'd be easy.
Right?
Yeah.
And they could all tie back to Lotus if you really think about the way that, without giving a spoiler, to do stuff that you and I know about that story. All of them could tie back into her.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, dude. So we've been on for about an hour, and what do we got going on? Hour and 13 minutes. You want to keep talking? You want to?
We can keep talking if you want. I don't care. What do you want to do?
I don't know. Up to you. Let's go for another 15 minutes, and we'll call it.
Sounds good.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Lotus some more, okay? Since that's the main reason for the night. So,
yes, sir.
In the book, is there a reason that I'm not seeing, and maybe it's because I haven't read far enough, so if it's a spoiler, don't tell me. But is there a reason that she never has shoes on? There is? Okay.
That's a huge reason. It's not. I can tell you why. Why. It's not a spoiler. It's more of it gives meaning to. I'll give meaning to the reason that she doesn't have shoes on. This is just an insider exclusive. If you guys don't want any secret information on why the metaphors are the way that they are, don't watch, or at least mute it for now, okay? So, Lotus, right? I'm going to go deep dive into why she's named Lotus and what's going on right now, so be prepared. Lotus is a Hindu symbol, right? The lotus is a Hindu symbol. Lotus is actually it's said that a lotus grows from Vishnu's navel belly button when he sleeps on the cosmic snake in the lake of all of it, and he dreams the cosmic dream that creates the universe, and that he doesn't dream it, but he dreams it, and then the lotus comes out, and Brahma, is it Brahma? I think it's Brahma.
I think
Brahma,
it's Brahma. Yep.
Brahma sits on it. Yeah, it's Brahma. Brahman is Brahman. Brahma's the whole thing of the universe. Brahman is the guy who dreams the dream, sitting on the lotus, and each blink is a new universe for him. So the lotus creates that, but Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu, right? Krishna came down, and they call him Krishna's lotus feet. And he never wore shoes because he was just, he was Krishna. And they call him Krishna's lotus feet, and they worship Krishna's lotus feet, and it's a big thing in Hinduism. So I'm not going to spoil the book, but Lotus doesn't wear him because she has lotus feet. So she is, I can't spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Right, don't spoil
it. It's very Hindu. That's the reason.
I knew there was a reason, because I'm only, like I said, 6 chapters in, and it's been mentioned a few times. So I knew there was something to it, a little deeper.
Well, it also has another reason, because as you go on, she gets shoes, right? It's character development.
Right.
She doesn't wear shoes in the beginning of the book because she was just awoken, right? She's still evil. She's still dark. She's still twisted. Kids don't wear shoes, just like you said, right? She grows, and then eventually she gets a pair of boots that are not hers. She doesn't get her own pair of boots. She steals them, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like she's still dark, she's still twisted, but she's growing. She's becoming more mature. She's realizing who she is. She has shoes on, but she doesn't have her own shoes on, right? Eventually, she gets her own pair of shoes that she wears. She gets to have her own pair of shoes and her own clothes and her own everything. And then eventually, she loses her shoes again, but in a good way. So it's full circle. It's like the circle of life, but with shoes.
Yep.
But everything's multi-layered. It's not just like no shoes means one thing. No shoes means lotus feet, growing, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Have you developed done any paintings of the entire character, or just the bust shots that you gave?
Just the upper shots. I can't draw that well.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting thing to have done, right? Just like a full body painting.
Well, if we could get an action figure, I mean...
Yeah. I'll make one. You know how to do it.
I don't know how to make action figures. What are you talking about?
Get a 3D printer. You got money.
Yeah, you can buy a 3D printer. I'll just buy a 3D printer.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
All right.
So let's just one more time. I will post your Instagram. I'm gonna go grab your Instagram again just so we have it.
All right. Any more questions for me to answer?
I'm out of questions for the time being, but if you end up getting the book, anybody that does end up getting the 99-cent book, why don't you go through again what your details are going to be?
Okay.
Why I'm doing this.
The ebook download on Kindle Direct Publishing, or Kindle, I think it's just going to be on Kindle. The ebook download on Kindle will be 99 cents American USD.
Now, wait, I have a question about that. I have a question.
Yeah.
Even though it's downloaded on Kindle, can I download it on anything else?
No. I think you can download it on Amazon Books. Right? I think it might be on Audible. Right. I don't know. I don't think it'll be on Audible. But it'll be on Kindle. You can get the Kindle app.
Right.
Just get the Kindle app.
Right. Yep. Okay.
It's not. You don't have to have a Kindle tablet, right? There's Kindle app. The soft cover copy, physical edition of the book will be $10. And if you DM me or my father, we can work out a way to sign the copy if you want.
Yeah. If you have it shipped to us from Amazon, we will get it signed and then ship it to you. And the signing is no charge. We can actually even cover the shipping from us to you, because it's media mail. It'll only be a couple of bucks. So you have it shipped to us, Luke will sign it for free, and we will handle mailing it to you. Yeah?
Yep.
All right. Go on. Anything else we need to know? You don't have the link yet because the link is not established yet because Amazon's still got it under review, right?
Yeah, the book's not approved yet. So
that's within 72 hours from
within
this
72
afternoon.
hours.
From this afternoon, yep.
Yep.
So
yeah, that'll be
Saturday latest.
Yep, by Saturday it should be good to go.
All right.
And yep, I'll post a YouTube short on this channel and on my Instagram, and I'll post a post on the Instagram, blah, 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 blah. There'll be a lot of, hey, it's out. Yeah. Hey, it's out.
So what we can do is you and I can, you can make a post on Instagram and just add me as a collaborator, and then it'll be both on both our feeds.
Sounds good.
So then we can just do one post, the same thing, and then just spread it all out. And we can share it to stories and stuff like that also. But yeah, make a short for this, for the Instagram channel, get that promoted with the links and all that. And as soon as we get the link, we will definitely post it up for anybody that's interested in reading it. Again, the man, the myth, the legend is willing to sign books for anybody that is interested in buying the hard copy for $10. You don't have to, but if you, it's definitely a book worth definitely checking out for 99 cents. It's definitely a good read.
Yeah, so, it's 99 cents. I'd say that's the cheapest I could go. I would make it $0 if I could, but 99 cents was the cheapest I could do. But I mean, it's worth it. It's 99 cents, but it's a good book in my opinion.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful, how you doing, brother?
Hi, Mr. Wonderful. How's it going?
Sorry, dudes, was out of family stuff for moving.
It's all good, man.
Catch the replay. No worries, man. It's all good. Thanks for stopping in. The replay's always there. We've just been discussing Luke's book that is on Amazon Kindle for download. It's not available yet because he loaded it up today, so they have to do a within 72 hours approval process. So when that's done, we were just talking about how we're going to post the links on our Instagram pages, and Luke will have a YouTube short on this channel here to promote the link for that. So thanks for stopping by, brother. We really appreciate it. All right, so Luke, let's wrap this up. Where can people find you at your Instagram page, right? That's where you're at. Instagram, or on this channel.
This channel. I'll probably start posting stuff about my book on this channel. Maybe like once I get a soft cover copy, I might do a read through.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Yeah, I'll just give my final thoughts real quick.
Yeah, please do. Sure away.
It's been a very odd journey, honestly, to get to this place, to this point, to the point where I could say that I'm a published author at the age of 17. It's something I don't think many people can say. I live in a good time to do such a thing, because I bet back when you were my age, there was no such thing as publishing, right? At least at 17, right?
We were happy when our high school creative writing English teacher like put our work in her special book for the end of the year, right? I mean, that was what we had. So Mr. Wonderful, real quick, just said congrats. He'll definitely snag a copy to read at some point.
I appreciate it. Big time. Yeah. But it's been very interesting. It's been a long road to get to this place. I've lots of thinking I'm going to quit, wanting to die because I couldn't think of anything, wanting to not write the book anymore because I couldn't think of anything at all. I was done. I couldn't.
For my side of it, right, being someone that's been there with you on this journey, I'll just add that I think like you took that break, right, because you got sick and then you just couldn't get back into it. I know that it was hard to get back into it because you took the break, but I also think that you needed the break, right? Like you were really just trying to hammer that, like you had yourself set, right? And I remember like when you first started, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have this book written in like 4 days. Yep. And I was like, you don't have to, right? And you're like, no, I'm going to, right? And you had this whole big like download of just of this book, right? They just float out of you subconsciously. And then it was like gone, right? Your connection to that part of
When
the
I got
universe
sick,
was
it just
gone, right?
disappeared.
So I think that you needed the break, right? And then you just kind of popped it in a little by little, right? Like you said, you wrote a little bit in April, a little bit. And then at the end of May, when you were down to crunch time, of course, you perform well under pressure because you have ADHD, right? And you're the man, the myth, the legend. And,
I'm the man, the myth, the legend, man.
And
they don't
so
call me
then
the man, the myth, the legend for no reason.
So then you connected yourself back to the universe, right? You did some grounding, some meditation, some,
I think what's really weird is that I think there's something that like told me to write this book, right? Like I've given up on so many other stories that I actually probably enjoyed and were more interested in than this one for sure, right?
I agree with you that something definitely was driving you outside of just yourself, right?
Yeah.
The other side of this is I think because I think this is a good book for your first choice to finish, because a lot of your other stories that we've discussed are so in depth and so expansive, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this one kind of focuses on basically the one character, right? I mean, there's other characters in the book, of course, but I mean, like, it's
there's no
really
important other characters,
right. It's really just her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, even like the one with the vampires, right? There's this guy and this guy and this guy, and they're all doing different things all at once.
Yeah.
And even seasoned veterans, right, would have a hard time keeping up with that kind of stuff, right? I mean, like Tolkien had notes all over all of his, notes and stuff, like his writing, and then notes off to the side of this character is over here doing this while this character is over here doing this, and then the main story is going down the middle. It's like it's hard, right? It's definitely hard. So, I mean, the fact that you're only 17, you got your first book published now, you're the man. I will definitely call you the man, the myth, the legend. Okay. You still have to call me the most awesome dad in the world, but that's
Axion Figs.
Axion.
Axion.
You got to say it with that French, Francais.
I think it's crazy. It doesn't really seem real to me. Like it hasn't probably set in yet, because nobody's read it yet. It still feels like it's not published and it's just something that I did.
Yeah.
But once people like read the book and start telling me like, oh, that was a horrible or that was a great book, it's gonna be weird.
Well, that's the one thing, right? When you start getting feedback, you got to take the good with the bad, right? As a professional, right?
Well, yeah, I want the bad. I want to be told that
some of them are gonna.
I want the truth. I want the truth.
And you got to decipher, right? If someone gives you like true criticism, right? Like, I really liked your book, but this could have happened or this could have been done better, or your grammar sucks, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
that's one. If someone just comes on and says your book is stupid and I don't know why I wasted my money on it, that's just a person being a troll, right? I mean, so you got to learn to decipher those. I just had this conversation with a guy I was on a stream with for that Odd Frog Entertainment the other day, because he's like, I don't want to post my pictures on Instagram because I'm afraid people are gonna, bully me and all. I'm like, you don't post pictures on Instagram for anybody but yourself. And haters are gonna hate no matter what, right? You're always gonna have somebody that hates your stuff or doesn't like your stuff or doesn't give you whatever you're expecting, right? You go into it, right? The freest way to live is to free yourself of everybody else's expectations, right? You just are having expectations of anybody else because everybody else will fulfill your expectations. You just live.
I agree. I'm not really worried about like trolls or anything because I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about. Right? I want the real feedback, right? Because I want to be able to make.
I don't think you'll have anybody. Right. I don't think you're going to have anybody that tells you the story was garbage, right? From my point of view, from what I've read,
I'd be really confused if someone thinks that it's at least like garbage. If it's like if they don't understand it or can't follow it, or maybe it's not like the best story ever.
So there's two things, right, with that. First of all, there's a lot of stuff in there that's a little bit deeper than just like what's on the surface, right?
Yeah, the shoes.
So some people might not get the whole story, but as far as the story goes, I could easily watch a movie based on that. Easily.
Oh, 100%. The imagery is great.
Yeah. So at worst, you're probably going to get some people that say,
hard to
send you
follow.
something like I did, right, with the left foot, right foot, instead of left foot, right foot kind of thing. Because you're never going to catch all those, right? That's why
I don't care
publishers
about the
pay,
editing.
right? That's why publishers pay millions of dollars for editors, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Honestly, I don't care about the editing, right? I'm not selling you an edited edit, right? I'm selling you a story.
Yep.
I'm not selling, like, you don't go to Darien Lake hoping that the machines are perfectly painted and painted beautifully and have these beautiful. You just feel there that hoping the ride works, right? Hoping the ride goes around the circle.
I'll tell you this. Probably in the last. Now I've read all sorts of like fantasy-based novels, right? I mean, like read Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Silmarillion multiple times, right? I've read every book basically that Tolkien's ever put out, or
except Beren and Luthien.
Except Beren and Luthien, right? Because someone keeps promising me that for my birthday, Christmas, or Father's Day, and it hasn't showed up to my house yet. So anyway, moving forward, I've read all those. I read almost every single Dragonlance novel that was ever made. I don't think I've missed all but 2 of them, and they were just because I never saw them. And then I read a couple other series, right? But probably the last good book I read that I really, really like got into where I couldn't stop reading was probably like 8 years ago. You don't really have many books out there that are new that grab you like that, right? This book grabbed me. I mean, that's just the truth, right? I mean, this book grabbed me, and like after the first page, and all that stuff happens, I'm just like, holy shit, this is nuts. I got to read the rest of this, right?
It's crazy. Oh, it's a crazy book. It's a good book.
Again, I expect the first signed copy. That's to somebody else other than yourself, okay? I'll give you that. Right?
All right.
I want book signing number 2. That's to another human being. Okay. How's that?
That's fine with me.
All right. And then I'll buy one for your mother, and you can sign that for her too. Okay.
Yep.
You can have number.
I got to buy a bunch of people.
I'll buy mine and your mom's, and then you can buy other people's. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good to me. It's $20 in my pocket.
Yep. Now, when you buy the soft cover, that's through the same place, right? So you can choose when you're.
It'll be on there, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it'll be on the website, like the page for the book. You can either choose digital download or soft cover.
Right.
Or both.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. All right. So let's wrap things up. It's 10:03. We've been on for a little over an hour and a half. You got any last minute things you want to say?
I would like to thank my parents, especially my father, for making me do this because it's pretty neat. I'd like to thank myself for sticking through with it, even when you didn't want to, because you understood that the outcome was better than the torture itself.
Many long walks we've had talking about your book, son. Many long walks.
Yeah. One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it. That's Descartes.
Truth. That's truth.
You want to hear? Here's a quote from Lotus, though.
I don't know. Now, wait a minute.
To succeed more.
That's another good quote.
That's not a Lotus quote. That's a quote from someone. I don't remember, though.
Right. You can't spill any more wisdom in one podcast. Ted's mind won't be able to handle it. It will explode, literally. All that red ginger hair he's got will just fall off. So you've given 3 deep things by now. So he's well on his way to blowing.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Yep.
Anyway,
all right, so people can find you on your Instagram, which is Luke the Lotus. I got the link in here twice in the chat.
I'll post in the chat. Hi. Yeah. This is me.
We can also load. We can attach the link to the bottom of the
stream.
YouTube. Yep. YouTube stream.
When it's out. So come back
when
in a couple days if you want.
When you're ready to post your short, let me know and I'll give you the sign on so you can get onto the channel.
I'll just send it to you.
Okay, that'll work.
Just post it.
Actually, you can do a pre-recorded one through the StreamYard.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
So when we get off here, I'll show you how to do that.
All right.
All right. So, of course, I'm Ed, Action Figs. This is that way is Luke, Action Figs Jr. Appreciate everybody stopping by.
Thanks for watching.
Checking it out.
Hope you buy Lotus.
Yep. As soon as the links are up and available for purchase, we will have them posted for Lotus.
It's a great book.
A great book.
I'm not
Definitely
even lying.
check it out.
Great book.
You know, we're not forcing. I mean, I'm not gonna, be angry if you guys don't buy it. But,
yeah, you don't gotta buy it, but
it's
a really good book.
A good book to read. 99 cents. It's definitely worth it. So, appreciate you guys for stopping by. What's on the agenda for next week? What do you want to talk about?
Explosions, diarrhea, and
explosive diarrhea. All right. I will put up a YouTube short of explosive diarrhea with my toilet nightlight. And what's up, Ted? Nice
Hi,
to
Ted.
show
How's it
up.
going? You missed all my wisdom.
You missed 3 points of wisdom from Luke. I told him he couldn't give any more because I didn't want your brain to melt. So you'll have to go back and watch the replay in order to get the wisdom. But Luke spilled 3 wisdoms today for you. Thanks for stopping by, Ted. We appreciate you, of course, man. You know I love you.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We are just wrapping up right now. All right. So my Instagram, Action_Figs. Luke the Lotus on Instagram is in the chat. Everybody knows where to find me. If you don't, ask somebody, they'll tell you. Other than that, next week we will be again 8:30 Wednesday for their next conversation from the Crick. We'll figure out some topic between now and Friday so I can get everything put together. Definitely be probably more into the action figures again because I'll probably have some pickups to discuss. And a special thing that's coming in the mail for Luke, hopefully before then.
Stay long.
Stay long? No, you have to ask Ted about that.
Not stay long.
Later, Mr. Wonderful. I don't know when Fei Long's being arrived at the Hella Dope.
You got me a special thing then? What's the special thing?
That's for you to find out once
it's a secret. Oh, okay.
That's why it's called a surprise.
I was not told it was a surprise.
All right, so next Wednesday is the 28th. So we should be good. Should be here.
Okay. July-ish is Fei
So
Long.
Ted says July.
Right. I can wait. Yeah. I can wait.
Speaking of what's going on at the end of this month, on July 2nd. Yes, July 2nd. Nickel City Con?
Nickel City Con.
Down?
Absolutely.
Con. All right, I'm going to get us tickets for the 2nd. Me, you, and Emily.
Get one for Chase.
All right. Chase, all right. We'll have to take your car, but
that's fine.
Unless I got my new car by then. But yeah, Emily wanted to go. I think Sunday's a good day to go because it's going to be the first show in 2 years now. Actually, this is the 3rd year since the last one. So be nice to go on Sunday because that way you guys can cruise around. I'll be able to go see all the guys I haven't seen in years and chat with everybody. So yeah, I'll pick up some tickets for July 2nd. All right.
See you there.
All right. Thanks for everybody for stopping by.
Thanks for
like I said, we'll post the links when they're available. Appreciate y'all. Love you.
Hope you enjoy the book if you do get it. And let me know. DM me on Instagram if you enjoyed it. When you get it, when it's out.
Any kind of feedback, definitely give it out to Luke. All right, you're going to kill this broadcast? You're the tech guy.
Bye, guys.